Guys, Judge Vanderbeek Court is now in session. Judge, this is case number JVB 1011, Berkeley versus Alberts.
Thank you. Okay, you all may be seated. Okay, Miss or Mrs.?
Ms.
Miss Berkeley, you brought this case before the court. What's going on?
Your Honor, I'm here to get custody of my grandchild and also to make my or soon-to-be ex-son-in-law to pay the child support. My daughter was diagnosed with lymphoma, and Your Honor, it was a long and difficult process, as you can imagine, and he wasn't up for it, and he left. And so I went and helped my daughter and helped my granddaughter through this process. And they had been legally separated. He was paying child support, but when my daughter did pass away, I checked into the account. I had access to her financial business, and I checked the account, and he was not putting the payment in there. So I am looking for the back payments that are due, and I am looking to get custody of my granddaughter.
Okay, so let me just make sure I'm clear. Your daughter is deceased now.
Yes, ma'am.
And my condolences.
Thank you.
You're pretty much trying to step into the shoes of your daughter.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I understand.
I think it would be far more appropriate for me to be raising the daughter than for him.
Okay, why do you believe it would be more appropriate?
He has a lifestyle that I don't necessarily think is best for raising children.
Okay, well, I guess I'll get that from him. Mr. Alberts?
Yes, Your Honor.
What's going on?
Some of those details are correct.
Which ones are not correct?
The fact that I bailed on my wife, our marriage was over a long time before that diagnosis, and we mutually agreed that I would pay child support, that I would support her financially, and I did until she...
After, now there's no one to pay child support to. Boom! Critical legal point. In Texas, child support stops when the custodial parent dies unless another guardian is court-appointed. Here, Grandma believes she can step into her daughter's shoes. But the law disagrees. Why? Because the father, despite his flaws, is still the legal parent. Fun fact, grandparents can't automatically claim custody or support without proving the parent is unfit. But is he? The bar accusations are about to heat up.
And I did until she died. And now there's no one to pay child support to, and I don't know why she's dragging me in here, trying to take my kids away from me, talking about my lifestyle, saying I didn't love my wife. Ask her, Your
what
Honor.
Lifestyle is she talking about?
I don't know. Ask her, Your Honor. I really don't know.
What lifestyle?
Well, he spends a lot of times in bars.
Okay.
A lot of time in bars. He spends a lot of money on babysitting because he spends a lot of time in bars.
Okay. Going to the bar is legal.
True, but who's going to be there to help with homework? Who's going to be there to hear the sad story of how she was bullied in class that day? A babysitter? I don't think so.
So are you always at the bar and leaving the baby with a baby?
After he spends a lot of time in bars, who's helping with homework? Oof, Grandma's not holding back. She's painting Dad as a neglectful partygoer, but here's the problem. She's never actually seen him at the bars. All she knows is the babysitter answers the phone. Is this a legit concern or a bitter assumption? Judges need evidence, not hearsay. Meanwhile, Dad's counterpunch. Our marriage was over before the diagnosis, raises eyebrows. Who's telling the truth? Drop your theories below.
To be there to hear the sad story of how she was bullied in class that day. A babysitter? I don't think so.
So are you always at the bar and leaving the baby with a babysitter?
No, Your Honor. Anytime
How would she know that?
Maybe because I call every night to say goodnight to my granddaughter.
Okay.
And it's the babysitter that picks up the phone.
Okay, so you don't necessarily know whether he's there or not, right?
Well, why would there be a babysitter there if he's there?
Well, I don't know, but I'm just saying, you don't necessarily know if he's present or not. You just know that the babysitter picks up, right?
Yes. Okay,
Okay.
technically, yes.
Okay, well then technically you don't really know what he's doing unless you are actually at the bar with him or you have someone spying on him, which is completely wrong. But that really has nothing to do with why we're here today. His child support should have stopped because there is no one to pay the child support to. Your granddaughter lived with your daughter, right? At
Yes.
the time of her death. Right, so you can't step into the shoes of your daughter. The
But-
only other living parent is dad.
True, but Dad was not around for the last 2 years. I was.
Right, but the child now has been living with dad since your daughter passed away, right?
Yes.
And when did your daughter pass away?
About a year ago.
Yeah, your rights are not superior over his in this particular.
After your rights are not superior to his. Texas law is crystal clear. Living parents trump grandparents, period. Unless dad's proven unfit, think abuse, addiction, or abandonment, grandma's hands are tied. And babysitter answers the phone? Not enough. Pro tip, to win custody, grandparents must show actual harm to the child, not just dislike for dad's lifestyle. Side note, that 6-year-old's imagination. Line, brutal but legally sound. Kids' testimonies are often dismissed in court.
Your rights are not superior over his in this particular case. There wouldn't be. There's no reason why he should be paying child support to you. You had access to the account that the money was going into because of your daughter. But now that she's deceased, there's no one to pay the child support to. So he should not be paying child support anymore. So he did the right thing. You just may not agree with it, but
I do not agree with it, Your Honor.
why do you need the money?
I don't need the money. I need to make sure that my granddaughter is getting everything that she deserves.
But how would you know that if she lives with him? Now, if she lived with you, that would be valid. But if she lives with him, you can't.
After, I don't need the money, I want her to have what she deserves. This is where it hurts. Grandma's clearly coming from love, but the law doesn't care about intentions. Viewers, put yourselves in her shoes. Would you fight like this if your grandchild's future was at stake? Or is dad's right to parent more important, flaws and all? Sound off in the comments. And moms, would you trust this man with your kid? Let's debate.
Can't necessarily speculate and say what he is or he isn't doing.
Well, I know what my granddaughter tells me.
Well, we're not going to go into that because children aren't very honest all the time. And how old is this child?
6.
Yeah, they have a very big imagination. So, I can't do anything about that. He should not be paying child support. And I'm assuming you cover the child on health insurance?
Yes, Your Honor.
The only thing I can order, pretty much is that he maintains that child support, the medical support on the child. But other than that, and that's through your employer,
Yes.
that's all that he can be ordered to do. I'm not going to make him pay child support for a child that belongs to him and that lives in his house.
Fine.
Okay. Is there anything further from you?
No, Your Honor.
Anything else from you?
What if the child wants to come live with me?
Well, she's 6 and you're not her parent. So she does not get to make that call. Now, dad starts doing something.
After, she does not get to make that call. Judge Bundy shuts it down. Even if the child wanted to live with grandma, Texas says, nope. Only if dad's neglect is proven. Think CPS reports, police records, could grandma intervene. And those bar rumors, without receipts, they're just noise. Harsh truth. Grief doesn't override parental rights. But here's the kicker. Dad's still on the hook for health insurance. Small win for grandma?